Abandoned millionaire mansions are not just empty houses. They are worlds frozen in time, where every detail seems to scream a secret. Unclean dishes, a billiard cue left on the table, fallen leaves in the pool, as if the owners vanished a second before disaster. Today you will see the top 10 most unbelievable abandoned mansions, including Steve Jobs' former home, Bruce Lee's retreat, Mike Tyson's decaying palace, and Pablo Escobar's estate. Each of these houses holds a story stronger than any movie. Let's go. Number 10. Mike Tyson's abandoned mansion, luxury, debt, and prison. In the late 1980s, Mike Tyson bought a massive estate in Ohio, halls with chandeliers, a huge pool, marble everywhere, and most famously enclosures for 3 Bengal tigers. But in 1992, the boxing legend was sentenced to 6 years in prison. After his release came more debt, lawsuits, and bankruptcy. The mansion was sold for $1,300,000, then resold again and again. Not a single new owner ever lived there. The house seemed to push everyone away. Today it stands empty, still carrying traces of a life where Mike threw money as easily as he knocked out opponents. Number 9. Chateau Lumiere, a French palace frozen in luxury. The chateau was built in the early 20th century for a Swiss tobacco magnate. Gold trim, grand staircases, fabric-covered walls, massive columns, architecture worthy of European royalty. But the owner died, the next buyers could not afford to maintain it, and the estate fell into a suspended state. Outside sits a rusting Citroën. Inside remains the wealth of a vanished era. The mansion stands abandoned, yet looks as if its owners could walk out of the bedroom at any moment. Number 8. Lynwood Hall. The last American Versailles destroyed by tragedy, Lynwood Hall is 110 rooms, paintings by Raphael, Rembrandt, and El Greco, furniture from the era of Louis XV, and grounds that look more like a museum than a home. The estate was built by millionaire Peter Widener, a transportation tycoon of the early 20th century. But in 1912, his eldest son George boarded the Titanic with his wife and child. He managed to place them into a lifeboat, but he and his son died with the sinking ship. The father never recovered from the grief and passed away 3 years later. After that, the mansion lost its true owner. Enormous, luxurious, yet empty. Today it stands abandoned, valued at $16 million, while restoration would cost over $50 million, a sum no one dares to invest. Lynwood Hall has become a monument to a personal tragedy that no one is willing to disturb. Number 7. David Gilmore's abandoned mansion, a home with a bomb beneath it. This estate in East Sussex once belonged to Pink Floyd guitarist David Gilmore. He bought it as a family retreat. Quiet surroundings, huge rooms, a garden, and a dedicated studio space. But one day, an unexploded World War II aerial bomb was discovered beneath the house. Special units evacuated everyone and defused the device, and Gilmore decided never to return. The mansion froze in time, as if the owner stepped out for 5 minutes and never came back. Books on tables, furniture covered in dust, locked instruments, rooms no one lived in again. Now this house is a museum of silence. The structure remains untouched, but inside everything reminds you how a single bomb, lying underground for 70 years, ended the life of an entire home. Number 6. Bruce Lee's childhood home, a shrine turned into a ruin. This house in Hong Kong once belonged to the family of martial arts legend Bruce Lee. This is where his childhood passed, where he first practiced the movements that would later change world cinema. After the actor's death, the house changed owners until billionaire Yu Panglin turned it into a cheap hourly motel for $25. Later, he planned to transform it into a Bruce Lee museum, build a cinema hall, expand the property. But the funding collapsed, and the project froze. The house was put up for sale for $23 million, but no buyer ever appeared. Today it is abandoned, visited secretly by fans as if it were sacred ground. Damp walls, peeling paint, silence, and a strange feeling that Bruce's spirit still lingers inside. 5. The Wolf of Wall Street Mansion. Luxury burned to ashes. David Findell, a financier convicted of mortgage fraud totaling $11 million. His $7 million mansion was once the definition of wealth. Columns, marble, massive windows, a private garden. But after the arrest, the property was seized and he couldn't sell a thing. The mansion sat empty, became a target for vandals. Graffiti covered the walls. Teenagers smashed the windows. Then the irreparable happened. A fire completely consumed the house. From a once luxurious estate, only a blackened shell remained. Findell's story is a reminder that millions can disappear faster than smoke rising above the ruins. Number 4. The mansion that came alive for one night. A $90 million art ghost. This luxury Los Angeles estate marked its 100th anniversary in complete abandonment. Once worth $90 million, it boasted Spanish colonial architecture, vast halls, marble staircases, and carved ceilings. Over time, it emptied, decayed, and became a victim of time. But one night changed everything. 40 street artists, including the legendary Finnish master Flem, held a secret art show inside. They painted the walls, columns, ceilings, turning the abandoned home into a massive gallery. Every surface became a canvas, every corner its own artwork. 24 hours later, the house fell silent again. The art remained, but life vanished. Today, it is a frozen moment of creativity sealed inside crumbling ruins. Number 3, the Narco Mansion, a villa straight out of Scarface. This mansion was found in Arizona. Photographer Chef Herman stumbled upon an estate that looked as if it belonged to Tony Montana himself. Columns, gold trim, marble floors, huge rooms, and hidden passages. Everything pointed to the criminal history of its unknown owner. Windows boarded up, furniture abandoned, giant halls left empty. But the main thing was the atmosphere. Thick, heavy, intimidating. You could feel that deals were made here, money was stored here, enemies were handled here. No reliable information about the owner exists. But one thing is clear. The life he lived ended abruptly. The mansion remains abandoned, eerie, majestic, and completely ownerless. And it will likely never find a new master. Number 2, the House of Illusions. Steve Jobs' abandoned mansion in Los Altos Hills once stood one of Silicon Valley's most mysterious homes, the legendary Jackling House. Originally built for a copper magnate, it later became the property of Steve Jobs, who lived there for part of the 1980s. The house was enormous. Marble halls, wooden panels, arches, columns, dozens of rooms. But after Jobs moved out, the mansion was rented out, abandoned, reopened, and abandoned again. Everything crumbled, darkened, and slowly decayed. In 2011, Jobs finally obtained permission to demolish it, and the house was torn down. But he never managed to build the new home he envisioned. Death took him just months later. Today, this place stands as a symbol of dreams that were never completed. Number 1, Pablo Escobar's estate, 20 square kilometers of pure madness. This wasn't a house, it was a country of its own. Escobar's estate covered nearly 20 square kilometers and included a private airport, a karting track, a full safari park, a replica of the Piper plane that carried his first cocaine shipment, a zoo with rhinos, giraffes, and hippos. After the drug lord's death, the entire complex was looted, destroyed, and abandoned. The hippos scattered across the region and still live in Colombia as an invasive species. The palaces are covered in mold, statues cracked, pools filled with mud. Today, the Empire of Death has become a tourist park and museum. 50,000 people visit every year to witness how even the greatest criminal kingdoms eventually collapse. All these mansions share one truth. They were symbols of wealth, power, and triumph, until time took everything away. Billionaires vanished, owners died, empires fell, and the houses froze as if someone stopped the clock forever. These walls remind us, everything built by human hands will one day belong only to the wind, the dust, and oblivion.